I guess. One thing I've started doing, I'm going to start doing more in the future, is just taking stuff straight from the horse's mouth. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know how I got on this video about them between Marine Corps Raiders and Rangers, or Raiders and Recon or something. I don't know. Still don't know. Don't care. And these guys was joking about being in the service and things like that. And one guy was talking about they put more money towards, Western society has gotten solved. They put more money towards LGBTDAQ or something than they do the defense of their people. And of course, my first response is, who in Iraq was threatening America? Who in Syria? Who in Libya? Who in Somalia? Well, which we're bombing now too. We've set up where they can be bombed, like we're at war with them too. You didn't see that, did you? Who in those countries was threatening us? Now you can. One thing I say, you can make a argument that they may have threatened American resources. That's one thing I've started doing lately. Is people need to understand the difference between American lives and American capital, American resources. I'm talking about oil platforms. I'm talking about mining. I'm talking about things of this nature that really have nothing to do with the average American living in Cleveland somewhere working a 9-to-5 job. It's got to do with money for billionaires. You know, it's like going out and fuck with my car. That's how I make my money, is with my car, right? I need my car so I can go to work, so I can make money, so I can pay my bills. Well, he needs those oil platforms to you make money. And I just thought about that. That's just, to me, that's the voice of the white supremacist. And I've noticed that they always go back to gay people. That's one thing. It always goes back to either gay people or people of color or women. It's always those three. Like if I was to get that man in a discussion, he's not going to talk for too long about that. He's going to always go off into that. And see, if you're a white person, remember what I told you, that white supremacy is a filter. Some people are going to get it, and a lot of folks are not. Like these glasses. There's people who look through these glasses and are like, damn, this, I don't see very much with them. And there's some people who pick the glass up and say, perfect. You see what I'm saying? It's a lens. That's what white supremacy is. And that's why they really can't get in discussion with you. See, I just want to live. I don't have any will to go and have a big military and have a parade running around with a bunch of tanks and stuff going through. That doesn't interest me. I think most Americans say the same thing. It doesn't interest me. I'm looking at climate change. I'm looking at these different issues that are going to affect us into the future. I'm into AI. I'm into cryptocurrencies. I'm not into bombing people and threatening people who have done nothing to me, who have done nothing to my people. That's the point I'm trying to make. And for you to say that they put more towards gay people, you know what? I started doing, instead of being surprised by that, because I'm not surprised by it no more. You're dealing with warmongering people, and they love war. They love it. So I'm gonna start coming at them direct, like a person that's a serial killer or something. You don't go up to them and say, "Well, killing is wrong." No, they know that. You think they don't know that raping and murdering is wrong? Like I was telling my aunt the other day, she's talking about it was wrong when he made them comments. Of course he knows they were wrong. We all know they were wrong. Dog, I'm trying to tell her, what do dogs do? They bark. What does a cow do? It moves. What does a cat do? It purrs, right? It purrs. That's what those animals do. What does Donald Trump do? He lies. We know this. We know this. I'm not looking at that no more. I'm looking at what he's saying, the argument of white supremacy, in that this is our country. You black people, we allow you to be here. And if you're not white, and if you have something to say against this white supremacist system, you can get the hell out of here. That's what he was saying. It wasn't about, was it right or wrong? You're dealing with people who have no morals. They have no empathy. They have no soul. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to get it. You have to stop with this. with Trump, with his base as well. We have to stop with this moralistic and these moral evaluate. Stop that. Stop that bullshit. We're at war. Stop that bullshit. Now, and I say this too, white people are fighting for something very different than most of us. I mentioned to you just a minute ago that I'm not at war with anybody in Iran. I'm not at war with anybody in North Korea. I'm not at war with those people. I'm not at war with anybody in China, our biggest trading partner. I'm not. Nobody I know is at war with them. Nobody in China's called me the N-word, not that I'm aware of it. I'm not at war with those people. I don't wish to constantly have this, tit or whatever you call it, tit or whatever you call it. That don't interest me at all. You know, I think it's dangerous, and I guess the white folks, they're fighting for something different. White people are fighting for the right to be racist. That's something I realize more and more and more is that when it talking about climate change and talking about income inequality, and the white people, they don't really care about that. They don't. And you got a lot of, you got some black people out here that are skewed too. Let's understand that. You got some black people out here that are skewed as well. But you got white folks don't care about that stuff, They don't. Not at all, not at all. And that's one thing very clear. They're fighting for the right to be racist. They're fighting for the right to use, and that's why a part of me is kind of glad for the squad or whatever you want to call it, because it's brought out things that black people already knew about white people, that we already knew about America, that like I said, we allow you to be here, and begrudgingly at that. We don't respect Dr. King. We don't respect the people that came before you. We don't respect any of those people. Not at all. We allow you to exist. I was looking at something earlier as a police officer. This is an example of how things are often worse than even I say it. Police officer in Ohio, he goes to the IRS building with his gun, and they tell him, can't come in here with his gun. He said, well, I can't do that. So he comes in there anyway. He goes in the back, and he's leaving. He was actually leaving. Security guard pulled a gun on him. And somebody in there calls the police and tells them that, hey, we've got a security guard out here who's got somebody at gunpoint. But what gets me about it is he just tells him it's a black guy. He doesn't say it's a police officer. He doesn't say any of that. Now, for Ohio, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that somebody in Ohio would do that. That they would, if you go far enough to call police, why not just tell them that part? And that's also got to do with the fact that, and this is like Cleveland or Toledo, one of them cities, that being black out there, they really hate you. And it's kind of, the hatred out there is different. It's normal. Like Ohio and Michigan and West Virginia, the hatred's real. It's real out there, man. You got to see it what I'm talking about. It's not even like strange. It's not even unusual. Them following you around the Walmart store, it's nothing. Happened to me twice out there. 2 different cities. One time I was on Stringtown Road, I believe, and my cart was almost full of stuff. And the security guard bitch was following me around with Walmart and breaker on. I'm just like, and I was on the phone, and I'm just like, if I was gonna steal something, I wouldn't be talking on the phone while I was doing it. If I was, it's just like they see black people. We just got to, and I'm glad for that, because as I get older, there's nothing makes me more happy is to identify my oppressor and to identify the enemy and to close with him. I like to know who I'm dealing with, because as I get older, when I do hurt people who are innocent, I feel bad. That's one thing as I've gotten older. I really don't like harming people who have done no wrong to me. To the point where I almost kind of get myself in trouble because I hesitate. That's one thing I can tip of myself. I don't like harming people who haven't done anything to me. Now, if you've done something to me, we're gonna go to the matches. This is what it is. But I'm not a kill them all, let the God sort them out. Bob was joking about that. The dude Cochran, crack up there making jokes with me about it. I didn't find that funny. I thought it was distasteful. I thought it was disgusting. I noticed one thing about these rednecks out here is that they take a carnal enjoyment from the harming of other people. I've seen that all over. You talk to them, and it's like they really. We went into Iraq, we should just had no rules. I'm sitting up here like, when they went into Baghdad, they were shooting people with main tank rounds. What the hell are you talking about? When they went into Baghdad, there wasn't. What are you talking about? And this idea that making sure you shoot the right people, that all this kind of stuff. Don't you have any? I don't know, man. I don't even want to go into that. I guess my point is that I realize more and more that there's nothing special about Germany. There's nothing special about Germany that made them put forward the Nazis, other than the fact that their culture was so anti-Jewish, blaming Jewry for the end of the First World War, and then inculcating themselves with World War II. But there's nothing special about the Germans. I realize that could happen here in America in a heartbeat. I don't think we have that history. But I do believe, and a part of me thinks that, well, it's crazy to see how the world has inverted. That Germany actually is the voice of morality. I kind of wonder what my grandfather would think looking back at that. That he was deployed. One of my uncle would have thought about that. They were deployed for World War II, and to see that Germany, they're actually speaking out on racism, on oppression, and America, and these countries that fought against the Nazis over a half century ago are now slipping into the clutches of it. Very slowly, albeit very slowly, very delicately, but it's happening. You just had a president come out and tell people who are lawmakers that if you don't like it here, you should leave. And you know what that really tells you? I keep making the point that it's white supremacy, and that really white people feel like we allow you to be here. I think that shows you also is this whole narrative about black people being thugs and criminals. It's all bullshit. Like what it shows you is, even if you're a black person and becomes a congressman or a senator or whatever, even if you're a commissioner and you rise to a position of authority legitimately, you're not out here hurting people, you're not out here doing dirty shit, you legitimately are elected into office, that in the eyes of white supremacy, you still ain't shit. You still ain't shit. And that goes for the, and I've said that for a long, I've said that, I've been saying that for a long time. That, yeah, there might be black people out here having the police call on us, but in the day, they feel the same about the Asians. They feel the same about the Asians and Hispanics. I've been saying that about the Hispanics for a long time. I've been saying that since last year, man. And it's now July. So this just proves that point. That, they don't like you either. And they don't respect you. And it's just that simple. They don't like you, and they don't respect you. So, anyway. And a part of me kind of rejoices in that by Trump doing this, I believe it brought a lot of groups together. As they said, circling the wagons, whatever you want to call it. But it brought groups together, realizing that if you stand against this man, if you disagree with where America is right now, they hate you. But another part of me knows that violence is a possibility. Violence is a real possibility right now, and that's not cool. Peace out.